everybody. My name is Simmons. I teach in the philosophy department at Furman University, and I put together this little video as a way of trying to remind my students and all of us how it is that we are able to stay healthy while staying healthy. So here's a little insight into my day, into the practices I've cultivated, and hopefully they'll be an inspiration to you. Let's all do this because we're in it together.
Now, one of the things I do every day is try to get out and get a little exercise. But of course, in these times of social distancing, you got to find a way to jog near no one. So you'll see that I'm jogging on an absolutely remote stretch of land. My wife gets nervous when I run back in these areas because she's convinced that she'll never see me again. I figure you do what you got to do, right? What is it, hashtag whatever works? So here I am standing in the woods with my face covered because out on my jog in the middle of nowhere, had some bikers ride by. So I figure, can't be too careful, right? Make sure you get your exercise. So as we do our best to stay healthy while staying healthy, one of the things that I have found extremely beneficial is finding some new creative outlets. And so as a philosopher, I write and read and speak. And so I've been trying to figure out ways while I'm stuck at home to expand my audience and hopefully bring some philosophical value to others. And so the way that I've managed to do this is starting a YouTube channel called Two Philosophers, One Conversation. And I do daily videos that are hopefully inspirational, bringing some philosophical content to a general audience. And so you can see right now, I'm sitting here at my computer, putting together today's video. And that will be up on YouTube soon. This is one way I've managed to not let the days string together in sort of a unending, never-changing mode, but in fact allows every day to be something new, like produce something new. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Find some way, some blog post, some poetry that you're writing, some songs that you're creating, a comic book that you've always wanted to write. Find some way to be creative during this time, because sometimes the difficulty that we face also spawns the most innovative opportunities of our lives. We've got to remind ourselves is to find some outlet for stress, some outlet for energy. You may not play drums, I do, so I try to get a little bit of playing in every day in order to remind myself that there's still an opportunity for creativity, still an opportunity to do what we love, even if we're cooped up behind our walls. Stay healthy while we're staying healthy. Oh, hey. So one of the things that also doesn't change, despite the fact that we're all social distancing, we're all behind our closed doors in our houses, is the fact that reading still matters and ideas still have consequences. So it's important that we read books that are inspiring us to create the world that we want to live into. As many of my own students know, I'm not a huge fan of the idea that we prepare you with real world experience. I'm much more excited about the idea that we give you experiences that invite you to figure out what world should be made real. And so today, I'm reading actually a book by a friend of mine. It's called Plato's Lemonade Stand by a philosopher, Tom Morris. Was actually a professor at Notre Dame and then started writing books that were accessible to a broad audience. But what's amazing about this book is it's helping me understand how to take lemons, turn them into lemonade, but to do it at the level of ideas, the level of transformed action and transformed world. So pick up a good book, read it, engage it, think about it, and then let it inspire you to change the world in the way that you think needs to happen. One of the amazing things about difficult times is it gives us an opportunity to explore what we take for granted. So this waterfall apparently has been right behind my house for 10 years that I've lived here, and I've never actually found it before. And so my family and I, out on our little trail hike today, discovered this waterfall. So today, even if you're stuck in the house, see what you can discover. Find something new in order to make today different than yesterday. Another thing that I think actually is a pretty helpful reminder is to remember, as we're trying to figure out how to navigate this pandemic, it's important not to lose sight of who you are. So look at yourself in the mirror every day. Remind yourself that you are still significant. Remind yourself that this will pass, that we're in this together, but try to find ways not to miss out on the opportunity to like yourself, to be able to encourage yourself. We've got to be our own fans right now, not in an arrogant sense, but in a way that allows us to remember that we can lose sight of what's important when everything seems to be crumbling. It's important to remember that mental health is just as important as our physical health, as we all try to stay healthy while being healthy. One of the things also that I think is really important to do is to find ways to be engaged with and around those people that you love. So we often talk about that if we only had a short time to live, we'd want to spend that time with our loved ones. Well, right now, we might be having a little too much time with our loved ones, but let's make the most of it. So for me, what I've tried to do is every day with my 10-year-old son, Atticus, find a way to work with him and find something exciting about where we are. So today, what we did, if I can get turned around here, is we set up a tent in our own living room. And so he's able to camp out now every night. And so for him, this is an absolute freaking wonderful opportunity to have fun, not simply to be discouraged and defeated by having to be home. Now look, I may be a philosopher, I may enjoy reading, I might enjoy playing the drums and trying to cultivate the life of the mind, but I'm also still human. And so I've been watching a lot of Netflix, a lot of Amazon Prime, not a sponsor, and really trying to discover the way that relaxing can be done intentionally. Perhaps ironically, one of the things that we can most miss out on while we're stuck at home is rest. So it's really important that you make rest a priority, not simply in the sense of sleeping, in the sense of intentionally being able to calm yourself down, being intentional about taking care of the fact that you've got to recharge yourself in order to face each day as a new opportunity. So for me, being able to get back in bed and call it quits for the day is ultimately maybe even the most important way of staying healthy while we stay healthy. Finally, despite the fact that we're stuck at home, despite the fact that March Madness got canceled, that there's no more Furman athletics to watch, it's important to still be a fan. It's important to still find ways to have fun, to get excited, to throw our hands up and remind ourselves that this is going to pass. This is not forever. So as far as I'm concerned, F you one time, F you two times, F you three times, F you all the time.